Welcome back to the Adelaide Oval. Tasmania 5 for 175. McDonald's Cup semi-final, the 40th over. Welcome viewers from Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane and Perth. Very hard-fought semi here. Tasmania way to a great start. They were 2 for 104, but South Australia through Scott bowled themselves back into this match. Now it's Davison and Faulkner trying to steady the ship. Good afternoon, Max Walker.
Yes, good afternoon, Bill, and afternoon to all. Yeah, it was a great start by the Tasmanians, with Boone in magnificent touch again. 50 runs were added for the first wicket, and Hughes was the first man out for 22. Boone made 62, another 50 stand. That with Rodney Tucker, a new boy from New South Wales, playing for Tasmania. But the wheels started to fall off a bit after a poor bowling performance by opening bowler Peter Gladygale. He had 34 runs from 6 overs. And Chris Killen, he took over from him and was very expensive as well. He got a wicket, but 36 runs coming from just 6 overs. But really, Tasmania have lost the thread a bit now, lost a few wickets. And that run rate has dropped down from 5 runs and over to, and there's a big appeal, there's a shout, and he's out.
There's a run out, it was so away. Hooks took all the time in the world to take aim then. He took a deliberate throw, hit the stumps, and that's a tragedy for Tasmania, but a great effort by the South Australians. They've applied the pressure. We watch now, Faulkner pushes that to Hooks. Davison hesitates. Hooks comes in and steadies. And Davison has run out for 18. 6 for 176. Alistair De Winter comes to the crease with Tasmania in a bit of bother now. 6 for 176. Swell delivery by Scott. Ran out of the captain due to hesitation, but a good throw from David Hooks. It's a photo finish.
Davidson, not quite sure about the backing up. Hooks always a very athletic man in the field. On his left hand, that was the natural arm to throw a direct hit. It was a wicket, so Alistair De Winter comes to the crease, young 20-year-old. A bit of cricket still in this match. Tasmania 6 for 176.
Brian Davison was always going to struggle once he hesitated.
He was the man running to the danger end, but look at Hooks, beautifully balanced, aimed, and a direct hit. It wasn't rushed or hurried. That's experience.
Killen, particularly Scott, done a good job in the recent overs in not only stopping the run rate but picking up wickets. He was looking down the barrel to a score around 250 plus. Winter off the mark.
Sort of reckon he'd have been a very worried man, David Hooks. Really lose the heart out of their batting lineup.
It's well struck. First time Faulkner opening up and hitting it way over mid-off for 4. Beautifully struck.
Some of the frustration in the Tasmanian camp has been because David Hooks has applied pressure through his field placement. He's kept 5 and 6 men inside the circle, sometimes 7, even in the 20 to 30 over mark. Really, we've tried to cut and deflect the single down to 3rd man. Phillips took 3 catches.
That's 10 overs bowled by Killen. 1 for 51 at 6 for 182. Toss with the bowl and Tasmania away to a great start. The first wicket fell at 50 when Hughes was the batsman.
It's Chaya, a young man playing in his first match for South Australia, ripped back the off stump. Still a 50 opening stand, a good start by the Tasmanians.
David Boone played a magnificent innings until Andrew Hilditch took a fine catch at backward point off the bowling of Killen.
Boone's 50 came up in just 48 deliveries, but that was a powerful hit, and Hilditch knocked back by the impact at backward point. It was a great catch, a timely catch, one needed by the South Australians. Total in 2 for 104.
Wayne Phillips picked up Rodney Tucker, who batted well for 21 runs, promoted to number 3.
Not easy to pick up behind the stumps. Phillips had a torrid day behind the stumps from some bad throws back from the outfield. A little sloppy behind the stumps, but that was the first of 3 catches to Wayne Phillips.
This one gets away down to fine leg. Off the pad, leg buys. Wayne Phillips picked up Danny Buckingham, a shot you want to forget, I'm sure.
Scott just nagging line and length there or thereabouts, too close to the body to cut. Buckingham was out for 6. Scott continued to bowl well.
And they look for 2. Just the single. Mick Taylor's in great form, but he fell to the Phillips-Scott combination, cutting the ball too close to his body.
Taylor played and missed several times before actually getting a nick, and that was a pretty regulation catch to Wayne Phillips. Scott now about to complete his 10th over.
And the 6th wicket to fall was that of Davison, running out for 18 after 43 overs at 6 for 187.
Easy when a team gets away to such a good start as Tasmania to put the brakes on them.
Beats mid off for at least 2. Winter, big strong young man, slips over, comes back for the 3rd. It'll be close. Oh, a bit of a fumble there. Gradigo having a bad day.
It's a good throw from Jaya, the new boy. Big strong left arm. Picks up. Nice side-on position, throwing against his body. And that should have been taken a little cleanly. Gladigo, he seems not to have his mind on the job. Really struggling to find that momentum, rhythm, balance.
He's got one now. He's got an outside edge, almost a wide delivery. In fact, would have been called wide, I feel, and Wayne Phillips does the rest. Faulkner flashing at a wide delivery. Gets a touch, and Phillips takes a good catch. His 4th catch, 7 for 191.
Peter Gladigo can't believe this. The state of the game, picking up that wicket for him. Faulkner going wide away from the leg stump and then forward down the crease. Gets a regulation nick. So Faulkner is now out, and Tasmania 7 for 191. Richard
Sewell, wicketkeeper batsman, comes in. Tasmania reeling now at 7 for 191 after a great start. Peter Faulkner flashing at a wideish delivery after going away to the onside. Sewell quickly off the mark. Real roly-poly, and he's coming back for the 2nd. That's good running. That's the over bowled, 7 for 193. Wayne Phillips right in this match with 4 catches. Faulkner, a valuable scalp for South Australia.
It was a very watchful Richard Sewell, the Tasmanian keeper. Looked like a Tasmanian oak. He turns. I'm not too sure that he touched over the line then. A couple of big, strong boys at the crease for Tasmania. Not too sure that strength is the way to go, common sense. Faulkner, the last man out, a long way from the body, head in the air. But still, you can expect shots like that in one-day cricket, particularly as you approach the 45, 46 over mark.
Not quite sure that Brian Davison would have enjoyed that one, Max, because he was really the last of the experienced batsmen. There's still 6 overs to go.
Looks a bit shy to use him today. He was very expensive against the Vicks.
It's in the air. Man's coming around. Falls short. It starts to rain as well. Heavy shower coming across the ground. Tony Crafter has a good look around as Killen was the fieldsman on that occasion, looking for that catch at deep cover.
Certainly it is raining very hard here now. It's the shot. And one looking back for the second.
I'm sure the umpires will try and keep the players out for as long as possible.
Well, I'm sure the Tasmanians will be quite happy to hang in there and try and slog a few more runs. We're now into the 45th over. There's one ball left in this over.
Yep. Seal's quite busy around about leg stump. It's the over bowled, 7 for 197. 7 for 197. It's the odd shower blown across the Adelaide Oval. Now it's a reasonably high. Oh, he's certainly a busy little man, this Richard Searle. Is all go. That's what's needed in the 46th over.
Still to come is Phil Blizzard, the left-arm fast bowler, and one of the all-timers great players is DK Lillee, Dennis Lillee. Batting 11 for Tasmania. Word, Phil, I just said batting 11 for Tasmania.
Peter Gratigo. It's a wide, and it's called by Daryl Harper. Right on the job. Good call.
Gratigo continues to have problems. In fact, Saul hitting outside the line of that. Getting in between, but Gratigo...
46 overs bowled. Tasmania 7 for 202. Sewell 7, De Winter 8. James Pike continues. It's nicely placed. Change your mind. De Winter picks up 2 runs. Conditions haven't been easy for the fielding side today. There was overnight rain. 2 showers since, and the South Australians have stuck to the task well.
Alistair De Winter, I think 20 years of age, come up through the youth ranks. Very good schoolboy cricketer.
He's going for that one. He finds a gap. Just 2 runs. Seal back quickly. Good run.
Tasmanians are really looking to scamper. A little bit of heartache there. Puff. He's a powerful hitter, Alistair De Winter. Well, he's going to look a lot better hitting straight rather than across the line, though. A lot of areas straight here at Adelaide Oval.
Beautifully bowled, Pike. The Yorker been hit down the ground, fired in the Yorker, took middle stump. An excellent piece of bowling, 8 for 206.
Hit just too hard. Jamie Pike rattling the timber. Over they go. The bail's on the ground. So Tasmania now only just 8 wickets down for 206, but 3 and a bit overs remaining.
Phil Blizzard joins Richard Searle after De Winter was yorked with almost the perfect Yorker. It's right at middle stump, hit the popping crease, and bowled him neck and crop. Hit in the eye by the bail as well to add insult to injury. That game used to play as a kid. A bit of a stick and a bit of wood and whack it away. It was on then as the bails flew everywhere, those white bails, easy to see. Great Yorker.
Yes, and that would probably hurt a bit too, the old bail. We can see it flying there on the cheekbone. Because having lost his wicket would hurt as well. It's a blizzard. And coming back into the Tasmanian side in the McDonald Cup competition. In a state of retirement. He's been in and out a bit in the last season or so. In fact, went to New South Wales one stage in his career to try and make it on the mainland, as they say in Tasmania. Gone back to Tassie.
Nice deflection. It's coming back to the second. It's going to be very close. Big shout, safely home. Exciting over, 8 for 208. Eight for 208. 3 overs to be bowled. A change in the commentary team. It's now Ian Chappell and Richie Benaud.
Peter glad to go. He must have been watching Steve Waugh, I think. Last week, Waugh bowled Richard Sewell with an astonishing delivery. Full toss like that one, which Sewell actually ducked under and hit the top of the bails. Yes, that's like for Gladigo. In fact, good fortune hasn't actually followed Gladigo around the field today.
It's been very expensive, Peter Gladigo, at the match in Sydney when Tasmania were playing New South Wales, and Dennis said that he has a bit of a problem. Every time he sees a cream cake on the plate, he picks it up and eats it.
Yep. That's good running, and he didn't make the error of giving the wicketkeeper a shot at the stumps at the bowler's end either. Very quickly run 3 there, and I have a feeling it was Sewell who called for the third, even though he wasn't the man running at the danger end. Eight for 248. 50, as was the case here in the Shield match, but it may be a problem for him with the hamstring injury, and it may be a problem for the South Australian batsman as well. Sharp for 2. And Mrs. Blizzard back in Tasmania will be putting her own version of events on whether or not Phillips should be batting ahead of Dennis.
I was just going to mention that you should always be very wary of fast bowlers with hamstring problems at Adelaide Oval. I wouldn't write them off too quickly. You just check with your brother John sometime about fast bowlers with bad hammies. I recall a match where JB was captain of New South Wales. We set them a target of just over 300 here at the Adelaide Oval on the last day. Eric Freeman, with a torn hamstring muscle, took 7 for 64 to win the match for South Australia.
Unfortunately, I too was on the wrong end of a few beatings from South Australia down here during my career. It was a very ugly moment. They'll take the single there, and that gets them up to 220. Well, there'll be some satisfaction there for Tasmania. It's a target, but quite as big a one as they might have hoped for at one stage. .221 to win for South Australia. That's at 4.42 per over from 50 overs. I would suggest at one stage they might have been looking at 270.
Yeah, certainly with David Boone in such tremendous form there at the top of the order, 62 off 60 balls, anything looked possible. And also the way the South Australians were bowling. Peter Gladigo was the main offender. He really took quite a bit of stick in the early part of the game, and in fact he went at 5.2 per over, 10 overs, 1 for 52. But a good spell of bowling there from Darryl Scott. He picked up 2 wickets, the wickets of Mick Taylor and Danny Buckingham. But he bowled extremely well in his 10 overs, not only picking up the wickets, but also tying the batsmen down. He took 2 for 21 from 10. And we should also mention young Chire, Darren Chire, in his first game. Not a bad performance from him. 7 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 28. But after 6 overs, he had 1 for 16. He then had a bit of an aberration and started bowling short to David Boone, and that really got David Boone going. 12 runs coming off that last over. But a good effort by South Australia. Andrew Zezas also assisting in getting them back into the game. 1 for 38 from his 10. So I think that David Hooks and the South Australian team would be pretty pleased about restricting Tasmania to 220. They had to get 232 here in the match against Victoria, and they almost got them thanks to some big hitting from Jamie Pike.
It's rather a hoik out to mid-on or over mid-on, and he paid the penalty. 22 he made. And then David Boone, brilliantly caught by Andrew Hilditch at backward point. That went like a rocket. And Hilditch took it safely enough, both hands. Brilliant piece of work. Tucker caught by Phillips off Andrew Zezas for 21. The fall of wicket 128, but Tasmania were fairly steaming along there. Buckingham, that was the dismissal I was talking about with Scott the bowler, and he later was to pick up Mick Taylor in similar fashion. He'd been cramping Taylor with the stroke, and that was the way it happened. Didn't give him any room at all, and I suspect that was part of the team plan. Scott was the one that put it into operation. This was the run out of Brian Davison. Little hesitation. Lovely piece of work from David Hooks, who threw down the stumps, taking quite deliberate aim. Davison out for 18. Then Faulkner caught by Phillips off Gladigo. Phillips 4 catches behind the stumps. A good Yorker there from Alistair de Winter, from Pike to Alistair de Winter, out for 12, and the total in the end 8 for 220. Tasmania, and 221 to make for South Australia at 4.42. We'll take a break in a moment. Just a reminder that the cricket coverage this year at the Lillee Award.
Ball coming onto the ball quite nicely for David Boone in particular, and then Taylor played quite well. But I should think that Lillee will get the ball to carry quite comfortably through to the keeper. He'll be concentrating, of course, on his direction and hoping that he'll be able to find the outside edge or perhaps beat the defences of the batsmen, because I think Bill Laurie's right. They're going to have to get a wicket or two, because if Phillips and Hooks are allowed to play at their normal pace, then it may well be that South Australia are favourites. So Lillee about to start for the Tasmanians. Hilditch has the strike, just a slip in the gully in position. And straight away that one wide down the leg side.
Well, I guess there's a bit of relief there for Andrew Hilditch, because he was out first ball to Dennis Gooley, and Dennis Gooley has come back in Tasmania. This time Lillee bowls a wide first up.
That's a little better, just outside off stump. Lillee whips off the short sleeve sweater.
That's cut well. It's coming back for the second. It's got to be close. It's got to be out. Oh, the throw's high. Dear, oh dear. A good throw, and Hilditch could have been gone for all money. Well, there's hesitation there. Hilditch finally came for the second, and the throw, unfortunately, was a bad one. Hilditch safely home.
Yes, this was a stupid run. Hilditch called for it. He called around about the moment the fieldsman let the ball go. And have a look at that. He was almost out, actually, even although the throw was bad. That's a wide.
Good effort by wicketkeeper Sewell to get that throw down onto the stumps. It was a terrible throw. It wasn't a long one. It was only about 50 metres. Sewell did well to go down quickly onto the bails. So that's a miss for Tasmania. They needed a wicket, especially a run out would have been a great boost for them. And so far, Dennis Lillee struggling to get his line right. He's pushing the ball with the breeze down the leg side. Bowling well within himself at the moment.
That's well run. The ball deflecting off the batsman there, so they won't take a second. The line on and just outside off stump. That's well played. Anything short on this ground will get punished, and that will be a bit of a relief for Glenn Bishop.
Yes, it was a bad ball. Played the right shot. In the air just for a moment. Wide of the man at square leg and raced away for 4. Lillee cannot afford to drop short, particularly at a reduced pace. Bishop does like to hit the ball over the infield on the onside.
Bishop, an important man here for South Australia. He's quite an attacking player. He doesn't look all that comfortable at the moment. He's played one good pull shot off Lillee. That was the 4 he's just hit. But other than that, he's looked a little bit at sea. Hilditch down at the other end has not tried to do anything too dramatic. He's simply been playing for singles. Dennis Lillee again. Oh, and that's out. That beat him. That was outside off stump, and while it was quite wide, it wasn't really a very good shot from Hilditch. He did have a little spar at it.
Speed to move away. A little bit off the seam. Well, he's not really looking to punch the ball rather than just push it. Really is a tentative start. Neither of these bowlers have genuine pace, just medium pace. Hilditch in particular is looking to get onto the front foot. No wicket for 17. That's the way Bishop likes to play. Onside over the infield. Perfectly safe shot. Beautifully timed. Swinging onto middle leg. Bishop upped it on its way. We have bottom hand in that shot and good control.
Comes bouncing in there from fine leg. Danny Buckingham also pretty short, stout sort of character. Into the gap. Sometimes happens in these one-day games. Oh, there's a deflection there off the stumps and they'll get overthrows. Both Lillee and Danny Buckingham were standing there behind the stumps. And there was nothing much they could do about it, really.
It's placed that well. It's a quick pick up and throw. Everybody's there. Deflection gives a bonus run. 4 points to Hilditch, put the pressure on the fieldsman.
It's well bowled once again. Batsman flirting at that ball that way outside off stump. Quite a wide delivery. Really have to play at it. Lillee is into his 5th over now, no wicket for 16. Oh, and how's that for a very definite no from Hilditch? And are they going to get overthrows? No, they're not. I suppose Glenn Bishop could be excused for wanting a single there.
Well, it was a comedy of errors. It was a mix-up between the batsmen. Bishop was a caller. Hilditch was not really, he was like a crab. He didn't want to go, and then Willie beat Sewell in the backer upper.
It's over the top and flying away down towards third man. There's a man down there, however. Yes, that's the way to play the ball, just outside off stump in these one-day games. Not a good thrash, so if you do nick it, it flies away over the top of the fieldsman.
One gets a feeling that Bishop a bit wary of Willie on off stump. This time he gets plenty of bat to that one. Willie bowling the leg cutter just outside the line of the off stump.
Straight to the fieldsman, and that's the end of Lillee's over. No wicket for 28.
Brawl is required by South Australia. And chip that over the top. Lillee not enough inches to catch that. Safe shot, but Glenn Bishop quite often lost the ball over mid-off, or over mid-on. Very strong, powerful man, uses a very heavy bat. Just rolling the fingers over the top of that, slightly over pitching. Bishop quick to adjust his shot.
You must always throw firmly. You get your best throw when you throw firmly. And certainly the most accurate. That one just clears Phil Blizzard. And good over there for Glenn Bishop. Takes South Australia along to 38.
The bowler trying to adjust his line and length.
Nice placement there from Andrew Hilditch, just beating Brian Davison. Phil Blizzard has been very accurate, 5.3 overs, none for 12.
With a run rate of 5.4 and over. We can see South Australia a little lower, 3.03 at the moment.
It's a nicely placed shot there by Glenn Bishop. Glenn Hughes at mid-on is reasonably wide. Bishop squeezed that ball between the stumps and mid-on. Picks up a 4-all run.
The outfield fairly slow here at Adelaide Oval.
And for Wide World of Sports viewers, it's now time for the main with Johnny Marshall on board. And here at the Adelaide Oval, South Australia have lost their first wicket. Tasmania getting the breakthrough that they needed. Phil Blizzard was the catcher, and Glenn Bishop the man out.
Nice tear to winter. Pitched about Midland leg, a half volley. The opening stand finishes with 47 runs on the board. Tasmanians applying the pressure. The South Australians trying to hit out. Bishop generally has success hitting over the top, but you can see that one pop out for a little bit of a look from Blizzard. In the finish, he did hang on to it. Rain starting to fall here at Adelaide Oval. One of the reasons David Hooks won the toss and decided to bat second was so that he would have control of the sort of run rate required to win South Australia a berth in the final.
A little bit of uncertainty there. Darryl Scott wasn't sure about whether he should come in reply to that call from Andrew Hilditch.
We had some uncertainty with the running with Bishop, and then now we see Darryl Scott out there. Wouldn't have batted too much before. The Tasmanians causing a bit of self-doubt out there. The rain too would be exercising the mind of the batsman. Is he going to hang on? Is he going to blow across? What sort of pace do we need to build our innings?
It's fairly easy for the side batting second. They know exactly what pace they've got to score at. They've got Scott immediately gets things moving, off the mark with a boundary.
What a glorious shot that was. Sweetly timed. And off the ankle, square of the wicket. Beautiful shot. Good camera position there too. And you only just a couple of metres away from the waiting hands of Davison, the Tasmanian captain. A bit of urgency now about their batting. 50 now coming up off 94 balls.
To Hilditch and 4 to Darryl Scott. Alistair de Winter, the successful bowler for Tasmania, has 1 for 7.
South Australian batsmen, no matter how hard it rains, they'll want to stay out there. And it is coming down very heavily here at the moment. Difficulty, of course, for the bowler. Seeing the rag being produced now, the umpire, but trying to keep that ball dry. Two umpires are starting to have a look. That's umpire Crafter. Stood in the test matches and one-day internationals. His partner is Daryl Harper. They're having a bit of a conference now. South Australian batsmen are fixed. They don't want to go. They want to bump that run rate up. But the umpires have said, away they go. Tasmania hurry. They scurry off the ground. And the waiting game continues here at Adelaide Oval. We're in the 17th over. Darryl Scott and Andrew Hilditch going to scamper off to try and keep their gear a little dry. Tasmania, I suppose they'd be praying for rain now, because if it did happen to be washed up, Tasmania would go into the final.
Andrew Hilditch is on 15, Darryl Scott 4. And we'd had 16.1 overs when the rain hit. So that means that we do have a match. The side batting second has to bat for at least 15 overs before you have a result. So there can be a result now in this game, even if there is no further play.
And Andrew Hilditch has the strike. The ball will no doubt be just a little bit damp. The outfield would be quite wet at the moment, so the umpires would have taken their cloths out there, have them on the ready for the bowler when the ball does get a little damp. I'll be drying it off a little bit, so things might just slow down for a while. Another single to Hilditch. Hilditch now has 15 of 42 balls.
Peter Faulkner, who's coming on now from the Cathedral end.
Another single to Hilditch. And here we go again for some overthrows. I tell you what, there could have been a few more there.
It's just like the reincarnation of Flatbush Follies when the Brooklyn Dodgers used to get themselves into all sorts of trouble.
As they head off for a quick single, there's a shy at the stumps there. The keeper doesn't get it. It goes through to a man backing up, and then it comes down to the other end. And watch this throw. This could so easily have gone through the fieldsman backing up there as well.
Yeah. Good shot from Hilditch. He did a good job this year in Sheffield Shield cricket, or first-class cricket overall for South Australia. Made 922 runs at an average just under 50 per innings.
Any standards in one-day cricket? If Hilditch has a problem in the one-day game, it's that he finds it a little difficult to maintain a decent strike rate early on. He's faced 45 balls here for his 21, but as we did point out, as long as they've got the match in control, that's okay. The problem really comes when the side that he's playing for bats first. Who come tend to go away just as quickly as they arrive.
Sure if that was indifferent bounce or indifferent wicket keeping, but it's 1 for 62. You're playing a shot. Well bowled, very well bowled indeed. I'm not too sure that Andrew Hilditch liked either the sound, the umpire's finger going up, or the shouts of the Tasmanian fielders, but he's got to go.
Yes, I don't think he wanted the bad news, really. He clearly hit the cover off that one and then turned his back on the umpire. Everyone was very excited about that, except Hilditch himself, who, when he eventually looked around, saw that sight. Umpire Crofter with his finger in the air. And so Andrew Hilditch out for 21, caught by the keeper off the bowling of De Winter.
David Hooks is the new batsman coming in, with South Australia needing a little bit of a surge here. In the commentary box, we've got one. Bill Laurie's just come in.
Thank you, Richie. A piece of bowling by De Winter, finding the outside edge. A little bit of extra bounce there. Hilditch is very low. Sill took the catch. Kraft's fingers goes up. It's 2 for 62. Wide called. 2 for 63. The game has been reduced due to the rain break. So De Winter chipping in with 2 wickets. Wickets of Bishop and Hilditch.
It's going to be pretty tough. David Hooks on strike.
De Winter the bowler. Yes, I have to start getting busy, and Hooks decides to just pushed that right through the gap of cover. That was superbly timed. David Hooks has that ability to find the gaps and just leans on the ball, and it raced away for 4.
Certainly, David Hooks was in the front row when they were giving out sheer natural talent to handle a cricket bat. And if anyone can turn this match around for South Australia, it's the exciting left-hander. A magnificent player. Once hit a century in a Shield match here against Victoria in just 35 minutes.
Rain getting quite steady now.
Bowl 9 overs, one must only bowl 8 overs. It's a 44-over match.
Picked off the middle stump down to fine leg by Darryl Scott. It's never easy when you've got a chase of 5 runs per over. The halfway mark, South Australia 2 for 72. Hooks 6, Scott 9. De Winter continues. He's got the scalps of Bishop and Hilditch. Well struck. Mid-off, despite the slow outfield. He certainly will run 4. Beautifully struck off drive.
That's about number 4 or 5 all run we've seen in this match so far. A little bit over pitching, of course, that extra moisture on the wicket. It's all very well to put the covers down, but certainly some moisture got on the wicket before the covers were down. It tends to make the ball skid through a little straight. Very hard to get much reaction, the rotation of the seam to deviate in towards the batsman or away. Once you're set as a batsman, the odds are you can almost certainly hit through the line of the ball with a fair amount of confidence. Just seeing 5 degrees over the top of the George Giffen stand through cover point.
That's beautifully struck. Lifting the run rate, crashes into the mid-wicket boundary, and Darryl Scott showing a bit of touch of class about him.
Almost a repeat shot of that boundary we mentioned just a few moments ago. That's his second boundary. Have a look at this for a shot. Beautifully timed, a little bit of up and under there, the bottom hand taking control over the short men on the inside of that 30-metre circle, safely away to the boundary at mid-wicket.
Well, first we've seen the big off drive from Scott, and then the one over mid-wicket. Means that he's got strength on both sides of the wicket.
He made his first play.
Hooks showing a touch of class, lacing it off the full face of the bat.
Danny Buckingham really starting to feel just how big this ground is here at Adelaide Oval. And have a long chase there, a little tottery on his feet, unsure of his footing. The South Australians able to run 3. Hooks, re-educated shot opening up the face of the blade, the glide down the gully. And Buckingham a little while to pick up and wind up. Faulkner to continue. Oh, another good shot, and Buckingham in chase again. Can he cut it off? He gets to it quickly. David Hooks looks about 3. And maybe there was a third there, but Hooks deciding against it. He's thrown that one so hard, he's slipped the sleeve down an extra 4 or 5 inches over the wrist.
It's Peter Faulkner straying down to leg stump. He's been around long enough to know that you must bowl to your field in a situation such as this. It's beautifully driven by David Hooks.
David Hooks, he really has got shots all around the wicket. The mark of a good batsman is to get your feet in place, having selected the length and the line of the ball, and then deciding on which part of the field you want to dispatch the ball to. All happens very quickly.
That's well struck. On the up. Over bowled, it's 2 for 97.
To win at a rate of 5.1.
Something of an advantage for the batting side because the ball will be slippery for the bowlers. The outfield will be a little slower. But the batting side in these circumstances has just a little advantage, and also there's the reduction in the overs that suits the batting side. There's always an advantage to the team batting second in a reduced overs match.
Danny Buckingham. And once again an overthrow. Richard had problems with that right hand, I think. Plus the problems he had with that return. It's 2 for 110.
It's a completely different aspect out there for the incoming players. Now Lillee has a problem with the wet ball. Davison has a problem with the field.
Good placement there from Darryl Scott. Ryan Davison has 3 men inside the circle on the onside and also the offside, trying to save the singles, and that's good tactics. What he's doing there is trying to get the batsman, the South Australian batsman, to hit over the top. So he's got 3 in the circle on the offside, all there to save a single. And then he has the same on the onside. 3 men there to save the single. With the reduction in overs to 44, 4 bowlers are allowed 9 overs and 1 is allowed 8. Dennis Lillee is in his 7th. I would imagine he'd be one of the 4 that bowls for 9 overs.
Dennis Lillee was under an injury cloud coming into this game. Had a fitness test yesterday and another one this morning before finally he declared himself available to play. It was a hamstring injury.
Also a Phillips victim. That was really intelligent bowling. The off-cutter in tight to Mick Taylor. He was out for 27. Scott getting hold of that one very nicely. Hitting very straight, which will cause Brian Davison a few problems. He'll have to think about dropping his field back. South Australia 2 for 122.
Bowled, beautifully bowled actually. It was a lovely Yorker right up in the block hole there. Back goes the middle stump, and Winter was out for 12.
After the 50 overs, it was 8 for 220. And Hooks goes for that one. That's a big hit. Crashes into the fence. 4 runs.
Well, over the years, Hooksy has targeted those square boundaries. He knows exactly how to do it, which balls to hit in that direction, and this was one of those. Lillee or no Lillee, through the shot he goes there. And that one actually hit the sign, hit the ansett sign, and bounced down.
Immediately, Brian Davison drops another man out. Just mid-wicket for David Hooks. He pulls it. This time he gets it going for fine, just for the single.
Looks as if Dennis Lillee decided to rise to the occasion there, and been nonchalantly pulled away. Decided to run in and bowl that one just a little quicker. Short ball as well to hooks. But that bit of moisture does something to the colour of that ball.
Deflection. So we're running for South Australia now. Very aggressive between the wickets. Three runs. It's going to be over. 2 for 131. Oh, that's gone. The back of the bat. Down to third man. He was aiming for mid-wicket. They all count. Scott doing a great job for South Australia.
He's moved on to 46 now of 63 balls. So there's a very good example of the ball coming off the back of the bat.
Got him, Swallow Yorker. That's what they needed. A beautiful delivery from Blizzard. Queen's bowl Scott for 46. Third wicket is down at 138.
Yes, this is good bowling. A little bit of a swing in this one too. And it certainly did him for pace. Eventually hit the leg stump. And that was a good wicket for Blizzard and indeed for Tasmania. So Scott out. Good innings by him. 46 in South Australia, 3 for 100.
And Phillips joins his captain. Blizzard bowled Scott for 46. Last ball of the over. Brings hooks on strike to the Winter. 11 overs to be bowled. 56 runs for victory. That partnership was a 76-run partnership of 86 balls.
And some good bowling this by Blizzard. Slower ball, and it's certainly slightly wrong-footed Darryl Scott. Eventually got through his defences there and hit leg stump. So a good wicket for Tasmania. Good bowling change too for Davison.
Brooks finds the gap. I think when you're defending at 60 runs, I don't think you can afford to leave square cover vacant when David Hooks is on strike.
Certainly not if you're going to bowl outside off stump. He loves them in that area. It's also a short boundary, and he flat bats that one through there without any trouble at all. Not a very good ball, mind you. But I agree, Bill. I think that for Hooksy, they need someone back on that side of the wicket.
Phillips off the mark. It's over bowl 3 for 144. Wizards bowled his 9 overs, 1 for 21. Rodney Tucker back into the attack. Phillips gets it fine. Two more to Phillips.
Wayne Phillips is 30 years of age now. He's had plenty of experience and can be a magnificent striker of the ball too. Very talented stroke maker.
Rodney Tucker was a star against their win against Queensland when he took 4 for 31.
He just simply missed it.
Good placement. 2 to Phillips.
So South Australia looking very well placed.
Catches the call, but it beats cover. David Boone, the fieldsman. 3 to more to David Hooks, who looks in great touch.
I can remember saying catch 5 times in a row there once. They kept disappearing into the gap on the offside. He likes them in that area. And that one's through the gap and down towards the boundary there.
And Phillips lifting the tempo as well.
Yes, the South Australian innings has been interrupted by rain from time to time.
Life for Phillips on 14. Then he finds the gap beautifully through cover. Superb cover drive.
Yes, he's a lovely timer of the ball. And that's an example of that timing. Good placement too.
Bringing quickly from deep mid-wicket, just the single.
Perth. South Australia doing it well here at the Adelaide Oval.
It's a good shot. It was in the air, the shout of catch. But well placed, the boundary results. South Australia now 3 for 173.
20 needed from 35 balls.
A bit of a slip there by Phillips in turning for a second. The South Australians really can see a victory in sight. 7 wickets in hand. Let's watch Phillips there as he balances his weight on his heels. And it takes a little while to gain his balance. A little bit of a dabble outside the off stump. Rain coming down fairly heavily. Good shot. Phillips in fine touch at the moment. He moves along to 28. That's the end of the over. South Australia 3 for 182.
Ball. Two men out there on the onside, one at deep backward square. Will keep it down to the single, although Hooks gave it a little bit of an assist there by slipping.
What a way to celebrate the 50. A sliding finish to a sharpish single. He's now hit 5 50s in McDonald's Cup matches, and it's been a very good captain's knock from David Hooks today.
This is the 41st over. It may be that Brian Davison...
Pace at district level. The runs there, there's at least 2, definitely 3, possibility of 4, but David Hooks is fairly happy with just the 3. So that's the over. Target 194, South Australia 3 for 191. Here's the simple equation. 18 balls, 3 runs required. There's one of them, 2 of them. Away go the Seagulls. Will it make the boundary? Well, that's 3. And Phillips said, let's make it 4. It's 4-all run. David Hook scampers through. Victory to South Australia. A superior run rate. The match reduced to 44 overs. Required 194. So that was a pretty good performance from South Australia. Difficult conditions here to play cricket. A cool day. They set off with Andy Hilditch, Ben Bishop opening the batting. They added 47 runs. And although slow, it gave them a fairly good foundation. So now South Australia go straight into the final. Tomorrow's match will decide who they will play. So Scott also played a fine knock, 46, a great half century to David Hooks, and some swashbuckling shots from Wayne Phillips there on 30. And the 42nd over, the total 3 for 194 was enough to give them victory. We'll take a break and be back with Richie Benno in a moment.
In there for South Australia, and here's Tony Gregg now with the man of the match.
Thank you, Richie. Well, I've got $600 here for the Man of the Match award in this McDonald's Cup match, and I'm very pleased to say that it goes to Darryl Scott. Well played today.
Thanks,
Wickets and runs, can't be bad.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy just to be in the side and be a part of a chance to play in another final.
Now, that final obviously very important to you chaps. What's the plan from here on in? In the nets each day this week?
I don't know. I guess we'll probably decide that tonight. We'll just go out and try and do the same as we've done the last 2 weeks.
And any aspect of your game that you fancy more than the other? The batting seems to be going very well. The bowling, do you treat them both the same? Or?
Well, I've probably tried to concentrate a lot more on my bowling in the last few years, but I try and place as much emphasis on both, yeah.
Well, very well played today, and good luck in that final. We're looking forward to it.
Thanks, Tony.
Right, well, there we are, Rich. Man of the match, Darryl Scott, back to you.
Thanks, Tony, and the winner's cheque to David Hooks on behalf of the South Australian team, and the loser's cheque to Brian Davison of Tasmania. And a very fine performance from the South Australians. They're the holders of the McDonald's Cup, and today they accounted for Tasmania after putting them into bat, and they had Tasmania 8 for 220 at the end of the full 50 overs. Player Wayne Phillips, and I suspect would still be a pretty good Test match player as well. Darryl Scott went in, and he was sent in to push the scoring along, made 46 from 64 balls. The opening stand between Hilditch and Bishop was 47 from 87 balls, so they got away to a solid start. But then with the reduction in overs and the target runs, they really got cracking, and Hooks and Phillips put an end to Tasmanian hopes. The bowling, Lillee had 9 overs for 45. Blizzard, 9 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 21. A very good effort from him. De Winter, 2 for 44. But the bowlers were hampered very much by the wet and greasy ball. So a good win for David Hooks, and they go automatically into the final now. The other semi-final tomorrow at the SCG is between New South Wales and Victoria. Should be a great match. We look forward to having you with us tomorrow at the SCG.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sport.